Hey, everybody. Thanks very much for hanging out with us today and swinging by Todd-Bits. We're thrilled. Part 2 of our series with our friends at the Southeast Produce Council. I'm excited for my guest today. She is the president and CEO of Westfalia Fruit Marketing U.S.A. She's the board chair of the Southeast Produce Council. Yeah, her, Raina Nelson, is here with us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Todd. It is a privilege to be here and talking about one of my favorite topics.
No doubt. And I'm glad that you're here. And I am such a huge fan of SEPC. I mean, I was all gushy over David when he came on earlier at the beginning of the year with us. And now I've got you. And we're going to talk negatively about David eventually in the show. So be ready. I hope you have your cliff notes for that one. No, I'm teasing. It's not his fault. He's a bulldog. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that is his one flaw.
Yeah, I know. But you're a Gator. So, I mean, don't get me started on either one.
Oh, all right. I see.
But I'm super excited to have you here today because as the chair, you've got some agenda, you've got some things that are under your leadership that you guys are doing, which I want to talk about. But, Southern Exposure is just such a great event. And this year it's March 3rd and 5th down in Orlando at the Swan and Dolphin. I mean, when you think of a good time and a good fancy schwanky hotel in Orlando, Swan and Dolphin, first thing that comes to mind to me. I don't know. I've just made that up, but no, I mean, it's a great hotel. I've been there before. It's nice. I'm teasing.
It's great. Yeah,
it is. But before we get started on everything and I get down in the weeds and ask a whole bunch of really cool questions, which I generally try to do, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and just kind of who you are and being the chair.
Yeah, sure. No, I grew up in Central Florida as a daughter of a Florida citrus grower. So agriculture's in my blood. And early in my life, my parents taught my brother and I important life lessons through ag. So family farm, ensued work ethic, honesty, perspective, perseverance, and then just the privilege to grow food to feed our community.
Love it.
So, yeah, it afforded me some of my earliest memories of how special this industry is and the people that are in it and how we, again, feed our nation and really support our economy. So again, at a young age, just really opened my eyes to the world of produce and how amazing it is. And looking back, it's why I'm passionate about it. And very, very grateful to have been involved in the SEPC for a number of years and serve and pour into this council because we do exist to bring resources and platforms to all segments of the industry to help us thrive and grow. So that is about me. Yeah.
I love it. No, and you said such a key word, community. And I think when I think of SEPC, I think about, the tenure of the organization. It really is, in my opinion, been derived out of that community vibe and that community feel of, look, we're all in this together. There's no reason why we can't unify and start talking about things that affect all of us and work to inspire each other through, the hard work and efforts. And I think that you guys epitomize it. I said it to David, you guys, in my opinion, wear your morals and values on your sleeves every day in your organization. I just think it's great. So with that little bit of a frame up, I guess my first question I would throw at you is, what's SEPC mean to you? I mean, how's it touch you?
Oh, it means so many things. So just a few words, it is people, it's family, but it's also the future. And that's maybe something people may not realize about us. But speaking about David and the SEPC team, our board, our committee members, we're all focused on the future of the council and this industry and making sure we provide the building blocks and some really critical elements to, again, sustain this industry. It's an amazing industry. So we're evolving and changing so fast, faster than ever. But the whole leadership team and council really is committed to not only, we're rooted in faith and to serve others, but we're really focused on making sure we provide the best value to our members in the industry possible. And we work tirelessly to do that.
I love it. Well, it leads me to my next question, which I think I think if I would have asked this question maybe 15 years ago, it would have been a different answer than it is today. But why does SEC matter, or SEPC? I can't talk. SEPC matter. So I was thinking SEC. I was thinking football already. I was already.
Hey, we like that too.
Yeah, I know, my Lord. But why does it matter now? Because I think I go back to what I said just a second ago about 10 years ago versus today, because I believe it matters more today. Not that it didn't matter back then, but I think it's a different level and it's come to a different place of its it's adolescents growing up, becoming a brand and becoming something. So if you could share a little bit why it matters.
Yeah, and it's a great way to describe it. We've really grown up. The foundation of the SEPC and our founding fathers is really really incredible. The vision that they had and really seeing it come to fruition, and then continuing to drive it in the future. But the foundation is our faith. It defines how we operate, and you can really trace back, the amazing accomplishments over the past decade that we've made because of those. And
right.
We've formed, obviously we work towards our mission to be the best resource for the industry in the Southeast, but we've created some nice pillars, and who doesn't love a good acronym? But correct. It is why we operate. So we infuse Southern hospitality into our networking, innovation, community, and education. And that's what we're focused on. Again, built on that foundation of faith, and bringing value, tools, and perspective on those pillars is really why we matter.
I love it. One of the things that I am a huge fan of, and I talked to David about that. I'm going to talk about it every time I have you guys come on, and you guys are just stuck with me. I'm going to be a broken record on this one, because I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's one of the most important things that you guys do. I think it's one of the most important things that we can get women involved with in this industry, and that's Southern Roots. And if you'll indulge me a little bit, can you just share with me your feelings on Southern Roots?
I love it. I really do. And I think it's also another program that's evolving, but was much needed. And when I was starting out as a young pup in the industry, there weren't a ton of women that really were in the industry at all. And certainly not a platform where we could unite, be vulnerable with one another, talk about common obstacles, and really provide a community where we can, just share and grow and really just create that community for women. And we get together every event, and the Southern Roots Committee has great vision on how we're going to continue to evolve Southern Roots. But I think it's really, really special and unique. And it's one of my favorite parts about SCPC. So kudos to that committee, and really look forward to continuing to see it grow and flourish.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for sharing that. And we already said it once, it's community. It's an opportunity to come together. And I'm just such a huge fan of it. All right, let's talk about Southern exposure a little bit. Let's get a little bit into that, because that's the superstar of our conversation today. March 3rd and 4th, Orlando, Florida. Everybody get there. David is extremely bullish on attendance and who's coming. He's so fired up about it. I love it. And rightfully so. I think this is one of the best events out there. But as chair now of SEPC, your theme for this year is celebrating the next generation of superheroes, which I love. So can you share a little bit about your vision about this and kind of frame that up for everybody?
Oh, you bet. So we are honing in on the theme of the marvel of produce. So we're playing off of the Marvel superheroes, and it is going to be such fun. And to tag on to that, it really is about that next generation of superheroes. I am incredibly passionate about sharing with the up and coming talent in the industry, or even high schoolers or college students, about the sheer vast opportunity that produce can afford them. Mm-hmm. I had no idea, even growing up in ag, how diverse this industry is. And so they are our future, and they are going to be the thought leaders, the operators, the executors. And we really wanted to focus on them, mm-hmm. this Southern exposure, and make sure that the segments of the industry, the member companies, the attendees are focusing on their future as well, and making sure that they're providing platforms and resources to pour into those individuals that are going to be the future. So
I love it. We got to get back. We've got to get back. We've got, we're in an industry that in some ways is a little bit scary, because when you start thinking about the next generation farmers, it's a conversation that also includes they're not coming.
Yes.
Right. And I think it's really important that we start to uplift the youth and get them more involved. I'm super excited about this. And I know one of the areas that is super, super close to your heart is your STARS program, which is Southeast Top Agriculture Recruits Scholarship.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Acronym.
I know. Acronym. I got acronyms. I can figure them out. I'm pretty good with it, I think. Most of the time. So, a couple of them I'm not good at, but yeah. So can you share with me a little bit about the STARS program? Because again, as I said earlier, it certainly is one that touches your heart tremendously.
It does. And you talk about a deep rooted passion, because I still maybe some days feel like I'm just fresh out of college, which is not the case. But our mission is to recruit and retain top talent from universities. And I'm incredibly proud of this program and how it's evolved over the course of the last few years. But we now represent 8 universities, award 15 scholarships to students that are top of their class and in ag-based majors and have a desire to work in the produce industry. They may not know what, but they are certainly in ag-based majors and they've got an interest. So we want to cultivate that interest and show them everything that the produce industry could offer. It's almost like a little bit of a blank canvas, and we give them the paintbrushes and the tools to sketch, a beautiful portrait of a career that they can make for themselves. So it's much more than just a scholarship program. We've really built this program out to engage with the students one-on-one and prepare them to attend the Southern Exposure Show. We also provide an online platform now with coaching, one-on-one coaching, resume building, how to engage out on the show floor and really sell yourself so they can optimize the experience. And we give them multiple opportunities to engage with our member companies, as well as our leaders in the industry, so they can see success stories and really start to formulate and materialize again the path that they can pave for themselves in the produce industry.
I love it. Just another reason why SEPC is kicking in some doors, and I just love it. Now, at this year's show coming up in March, you have an event specifically slated for the STARS students, and it's cocktails and careers. Which how do you not love? How do you not love something that starts with the word cocktail?
Yeah.
Fill us in a little bit. Give us the 411 on what that event is and how people can get involved in that event, and how people can take the words you've just shared and say, hey, I want to keep supporting this. I think this is really valuable. And it's so necessary that we get behind this.
Yes. And this is an opportunity for listeners out there, and you're looking to recruit young talent. This event is for you. And we have created a hybrid platform this year, and it's really developed over the course of the last couple of years due to COVID. So again, a silver lining here, if you will. But we will have a couple weeks leading up to the Southern Exposure in-person event. We will have a virtual event where companies can connect and get an appointment time to speak with one of the STARS or all of the STARS students. And the beauty of this is we've been able to open this platform up to maybe HR representatives from companies that wouldn't typically attend the show.
Right.
So it gives the opportunity for HR to interview, connect, or even a commercial person to be on that virtual platform as well. And then at the Southern Exposure event, it will be an in-person event as a follow-up. So it's kind of like an interview process, if you will. And it's really great because the students will come in knowing a little bit about the participating companies, and the companies will have access to resume and bios prior to the virtual event. The virtual event will set the tone for the in-person event.
I love it. Just another great reason to get involved. And and I'm going to say it again, empowering our youth, mentoring our youth in agriculture is as important as anything we can do today. We have to, whether because you don't know where these kids are going to end up. These kids can be CEOs. These kids could be at some retail. These kids could, who knows where they end up down their trajectory. But giving them that sense of community, the sense of love, the sense of empowerment of their ideas and expressing themselves, and getting that opportunity to see what the world's really like from people that are wanting to give back, is something that, I hope these kids 50 years from now do the exact same thing back, right? They start to give mentor. Because if you teach people to mentor, they in turn mentor. And it's so important that we continue that cycle.
Yeah, it's a great continuum, and we're already seeing it. We have numerous stars. I would say some years between 30% of them, 30 to 40% do acquire an internship or an entry-level job. Now we're seeing full circle success where STARS students are showing back up at Southern Exposure, Southern Innovation events as members. And ultimately, we've got some on our committees now that are serving. So it's just, that's such an amazing thing for us to see.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you hope, we trade shows, doing shows, things like that, something we've done, and whether you're having a meeting, whatever the case might be, but what do you really hope people will get out of Southern Exposure this year?
Oh, to be in person, to unite, to learn, to share, to do business. And we always have fun and fellowship. The last few years have taken a toll, and we've worked really hard to bring some in-person events back onto the calendar. And we've done a really good job, but I really feel like this Southern Exposure is going to be the event where we're just going to be able to get back to some level of normalcy in business together.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Last question I'm going to throw at you. What do you think, if you could frame up some of the big takeaways that you hope people will gain by attending? I mean, because we were kind of specific. I'm going to get you up at 35,000 feet for the last question, but what do you hope some of the big takeaways will be?
I'm going to take it back to our nice pillars, because again, it's the way we operate and we design, the work. So the networking, we provide the best networking event in the industry. I fully believe that, and all segments of the industry are represented. So no matter who you are, you're going to be able to find someone to have a conversation with that is going to come out, successful. And then the innovation, just by walking the show floor, you're going to be able to see all types of innovation. It doesn't mean just product innovation. It could be a process or a software or some technology that you could apply. So we've really focused on bringing cutting edge innovation to our members.
Love it.
Community. I mean, you're going to get not only a sense of belonging to the produce family, but you're going to see how SEPC gives back to our communities. We support a vast amount of charities and do some amazing work, and your heart will be full.
I love it.
And then education. Our education committee is stellar. They are constantly curating some of the best speakers and thought content for us to apply to our businesses. It's not like you just come and learn, you sit and, oh, that's great. You write it down, and maybe, 6 months down the road, you come across it again. We really try to work on how you can apply the education to enhance your business, your workplace, your teams. It will not disappoint. And then we're going to go back to the SEC topic. I would be remiss, and I am a Florida Gator, as you said.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Is Mr. Tim Tebow, and I'm just really excited to hear him talk about his experiences and his philanthropic endeavors, and it fits right into, again, kind of pouring into the future of our industry, because he's doing some great things in that capacity.
He does. He's a great speaker. I've heard him speak before. He's really good. He probably will have no notes, and he'll speak from the heart, and he'll be, I think people will be very, because they get the tidbits of whatever they get on Sports Center or People, whatever the hell, whatever news, wherever he pops up. But I don't think you necessarily get the true guy until you get him in front of you talking. I think people will be very impressed with him. I was excited to see him. That'll certainly be worth listening to. You said something, and I want to kind of come back to it. And when I think about the word community, right, and we've talked about it several times so far in our time together, But I think that really does kind of sum up what you all are about. It is that in order to have a community, it has to be a diversified amount of people, right? I mean, it comes from, to your point, whether you're in this sector or that sector, you're still a part of this community. And to find a place that uplifts that and inspires that and promotes that and wants that is extremely refreshing, especially in today's world. So I commend you guys for sticking to that and for believing in that, and for that being something that it's very easy to see outwardly in your business model. And I think it speaks volumes to the hard conversations you've had, finding, putting, as we discussed before, you and I've discussed before, about that first rung of the ladder being so foundationally strong. And those early conversations are why that sense of community, I think, pours out of the organization. So I commend you guys for that. Don't let that stop. Don't let that stop. It sets you apart.
Oh, thank you so much for that. And again, we strive so hard to make sure that we are the leading resource, and that does mean community. That sense of community is just so important, and it's something we will never lose sight of.
I love it. So once again, everybody, get it on your calendar, get your tickets booked, get moving, get online. Don't wait around. March 3rd through the 5th, Orlando, Florida, the Swan and Dolphin Resort, which is on Disney's property, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Correct.
Go check it out. The show is worthwhile. It's hard to look away from something that wants to touch your heart. It's tough to look away from that. It's tough not to want to support something that's giving back in such a great way. So I encourage everybody to get down to Southern Exposure. I'll be there. Let's go. I'll hang out. Let's play golf. Whatever you want. Let's do it. Let's get together. Right? Because it's a worthwhile event. I appreciate you very much, Raina, for being here today. I really do. I know it's a busy time. Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for hanging out with us. So everybody go, get online, make it happen. Thanks for hanging out with us here today on Todd-Bits. We appreciate you. Remember, I say it all the time, go inspire somebody. It's not hard to do. Go say hello to somebody, go knock on your neighbor's door and tell them you appreciate them being your neighbor. It doesn't take a lot to make somebody's day a whole lot better, and we can do it if we all try. So thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you soon. Don't forget to check out Todd-Versations. Thanks to everybody, and welcome to season 2, folks. We'll see you soon. Take care.